Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, just I had to go to the bathroom, so it was whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
No
it was
worries.
just a coincidental of timing, and I was like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom as we're speaking about this.
The irony.
Oh yeah, the irony's right. And then my older brother was playing Yoshi's Story on N64 downstairs, and I was just like, that's really weird. I don't know if you ever
never,
what's
never
it
played
played what
Yoshi's Story.
64 like
Yeah,
Yoshi. I used to like we played it since we were like toddlers, and we still have it. And it's just out for some reason. I don't know why.
strange.
But anyway, yeah, it's just work today. I'm just half dead and half tired. And it's just like whatever. It's like I could go back in and like churn out another coffee pouring, but I might as well be devoted to Coffee Lid Island and Red Straws. And that's just like sounds to me this is just a plan that just kicked me out because I don't know. I've already tried deli sandwiches, and I guess you only give in 2 hours, and if you can't make sandwiches with all the other women, then you can't, get with the process. So it's whatever. I just maybe have to find like a government job or something like that. Then just I don't know about the food thing. I just don't know about the food thing. It's just weird.
Working in like food.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's whatever.
I actually do that now. It's very frustrating.
Well, it's the ideal that like you just supposedly the customer is always right and you have to be fast. And previously, I was working Home Depot where it would just be like almost night shift, right? Just getting
Yeah,
things on, and it was like nobody would bother. You just do it. And I got laid off, but it was like a good 5 months. It's like nobody was caring. It was just and you just have to churn it out. I just think work is so unreliable today that it's like you have to be sociopathic in the retail world to get anywhere. And it's just
Oh,
like,
oh God, probably. Yeah, I can only imagine.
I don't know. But I was thinking today for the past year, like I got out of school literally like 2 years ago, like in December of 2016, I got out. And at that same time, I made my debut on the Stark Truth show. During that same time, and in 2017, that early 2017, around this time as well, I think I've been on a Talk Fever, or at least Mark
The band.
Hollis. Yeah, Mark Hollis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And every time in August around this period, I always tune into. Well, last year 2 years ago, I was really big into a Spirit, Eden or Spirit of Eden, and that's like Pitchfork loves that album because they think it's like, oh, it's the development of post rock, but it's actually really good talk. It's their own experimental long play. One side is like a 20-minute, 15-minute, like soundtrack.
Shit.
And I don't know if you listen to that. You know what I'm talking about?
I know. Talk are. I just never listened.
Okay, because you're probably thinking of "It's My Life" and their synth pop songs, but
No, I know it's What's the album called?
there's Spirit of
Uh,
Eden and Laughing Stock, and those are
The
their
Laughing Stock. It's always posted on
yeah, those
a
are
certain
their
image board.
yeah, they're post rock albums. And like I love Spirit of Eden and I love The Color of Spring. Laughing Stock, I love the very last track, Rumi on it, but I don't have that on LP. I'm in my room right now. I'll just and right now in my room I actually have on what was it? It's like Ono. They're like this black punk band from like whenever. And they actually came to Philadelphia when they opened up for Faust, and I didn't go because I could care less what Faust was. And I and the opening Ano really only played for like 13 minutes, and the guy's like Travis is like 70 something years old. So it's like it's like weird. So why would I pay $40 to see 10 minutes of what I want, and I could care less about Faust?
Yeah.
Right? But my one friend, Patrick Doyle, or Patrick on Facebook land and IRL, he says, "Oh my god, I want to see Faust," but it's like I could care less. But yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to say is, during this like end of summer, I always have this talk vibe where I feel like listening The Color of a Spring again, and I have that one song, April 5th by Talk Talk. I don't know if you know this. Yeah, I'm just telling you esoteric music information, but I just have that song in repeat in my head after work as this kind of post-rock song of melancholy and just sadness. Talk, but it's it's good stuff. Mark Hollis, even his like self stuff, but that's kind of the mood I'm in. You could say.
Yeah, You ever listen to Vashti Bunyan?
Tell me more.
Not Vashti. I think it's Sybil Bayer.
Sybil Bayer. I'm not so sure now. I'm just in that mood. Because if I tell you
she's a great folk singer. She has a song called Tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes, tonight when I came home from work. It's really, really melancholy. That's what I usually listen to when I get off work.
Civic Bayer?
No. Sybil.
Sybil. I'm looking in Discogs actually.
Sibylle.
Oh, it's Sybil, like the name Sybil. Sybil Bayer.
Yeah.
Sybil Bayer.
Bayer.
Oh, B-A-I. Oh.
E-R.
Dang it. I'm trying to find it in Discogs. I'm almost close. I think I'm just messing up on the... Wait, did you write it in Skype?
Here, I can.
Hold on. How do I get to my normal Skype screen? Okay. That's what I... Oh, the way it's spelled. Sybil. It's like a feminist spelling. Sybil.
Kraut, apparently.
Bayer. There it is. Wiki. Oh, she's from 50/50. Okay, so this is German. She's 63. Color green. From the early 70s. Interesting. Sybil Bayer.
Yeah, it only got released like 06.
Yeah, because it's so obscure. It's like a lot of people released tapes back in the day. You know? That's interesting. Yeah. That is interesting. I mean, you were just showing me like, was it Trayvon Williams 3? Yeah.
It was oh fuck, it's Tommy Wright.
Tommy Wright there. I was just listening to it, so I'm like, damn, you know why this is popular? Because it's like kids who like JPEG Mafia. And it's like,
you mean Def Grips?
Yeah, Def Grips are like JPEG Mafia, where it's this irony, like not even irony, it's like authentic, like lo-fi electronic hip hop that it's like black music that black people don't like anymore, but appropriated by whites. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool if you had this tape in '94, but no one gave a shit. But now it's 2018, now everyone does, and I guess that's how the stock market works anyway. You know,
yeah.
I can't blame. You know, there's. I don't know. You're probably in the New York, New Jersey area. The hip station to listen to is WPRB Princeton. It's 103.3. I get it in my car, and that's the only station I listen to. And on my way to work, they're playing Spanish synthwave. Ooh. Yeah, I'm like, ooh, it's like unironic music made in Spain during a time when the music was not emphasis, like it was craft work. Isn't it futuristic? Like the TR-808 drum machines and and there's this kind of weird and that's the same thing you get from vaporwave. You're only listening to vaporwave for a feeling or for a novelty or irony, kind of like cultural anthropology. And I feel like, yeah, it's interesting, but is it good? Like to me, it's like I'm looking at my wall in my bedroom. I have a poster, Joy Electric, Otherly Opus, and I love that album. That came out in 2007. I have Blank Banshee's 01 album. I absolutely love that. I have Boards of Canada's Music Has a Right to Children. I love that album.
I love BOC.
Yeah, Bach, Boards of Canada. Yeah, because the 20th anniversary of Music Has a Right came out this year, and they made a print on Warp. And I actually didn't grow up with music. I grew up with Gio Gotti, and I remember when Campfire came out in 2005, and I remember the website, And when it came out, I was like really disappointed because the whole album was like a guitar rock driven album, and I strongly disliked it. I love Gio Gotti because I remember watching Salad Fingers and like other horror cartoons, and I kind of related Boards of Canada in the same like horrorcore hip hop of like Insane Clown Posse, and like you're mixing trip hop with like elements of horror films. There's a book called Folk Horror Revival Field Studies, and it just makes that connection. But a lot of people now, especially young people, they like Boards of Canada because of this ironic reason that they invented vaporwave, and it's like no, that's not really true because Boards of Canada was like the trip hop bands of you listen to Massive Attack, Mr. Scruff, some early Mr. Wazo. I'm trying to think of other trip hop names. Anything on Ninja Tune? I'm thinking Nightmares on Wax. I absolutely love Nightmares on Wax. But yeah, Boards of Canada. Yeah, like Boards of Canada fell under that. They were just like some Scottish trip hop duo, and they just so happened to be sampling like these 1960s beats, and it's like that's what every other hip hopper does, But I guess there was this Pitchfork had the article on the 20th anniversary of Music Has the Right where they were saying that the album is inciting feelings of the past, of a forgotten era. That is true, but I really want to write something about Boards of Canada where I told Matt Piss about this, where Bach is really about, I think, child abuse. It's about bad childhood memories. It's not about glorifying the past. I think Boards of Canada is about a horrifying memory growing up in like this bad Winnipeg Americana or something like that. And they're really tuning into that, like all the bad memories you had when you were a kid or
like the surrealness of being a kid.
Yeah, and I think Boards of Canada really touches into that, and it could also make sense of the entire boomer generation who rejected their own silent parents or felt that they lived in like hellish suburbia, And I always thought that Boards of Canada was tuning into that, especially in the English side with like the weird kind of transmissions of BBC would play these like public service announcements, and a lot of that weird goofy ass like it's weird because like the first part of Music Has the Right to Children, it really is just a collection of their demo works, and the first side of the LP is scary, especially Eagle, that's the second
I love
track.
Eagle.
That's a really good one, because I love you. And it's like really, it's really loud and obnoxious, spelled by the Fire, where it goes, I love you, and then into Telepathic Workshop, where it's like, it's kind of sinister and dark. I think I remember the album, and they do this as a Boards of Canada meme. I think the song's called Triangle and Rhombus, where it goes, do 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 do. It's like this really bright synth. And this reoccurs on their first, self-release 69er when they end the LP, as well as their older demos, as this kind of weird joke, like the tape is ending. And when I tend to listen to LPs in the dark. Like my room's really dark. And when I got music earlier in April, like I only knew it beforehand in like 2006 when I used to listen to sound snippets. I thought I always loved Gio Gotti because I thought it was scary. Like there's some parts on Gio Gotti which fucking gives me chills, and that album could be talked on its own. But for music, I felt music was, you hear an early part of that, but it's only for the first 30 minutes. After 6-9 or something, the track like around Turquoise Hexagon Sun, it kind of gets a little more uplifting, or at least when Roy G Biv starts. That's when the entire album gets more uplifting. And I always thought the most goofiest track on music was Open the Light. And if you know how Open the Light begins, it's like, it literally sounds like some kind of public service announcement. Dun, 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 dun. I remember just listening to that song earlier this year in my room. And I was looking out in my like Pennsylvania, like, I live near, my parents' house is in Valley Forge, and I was at my parents' house in Valley Forge, and just looking out at Valley Forge National Park, it's like, it's so American. It's like where George Washington, to start the Civil War. and you're just listening to Open the Light, and you see like cottage houses, right? And you see like this, like, am I trapped in like 65 or something? And I'm just wearing like really bad goggles. And it does give you that weird experience. Like it doesn't sound like it's by Boards of Canada. Yes, it's on the album. And it's just the most weirdest track to bring up, Open the Light. I don't know, but yeah, a lot of things on that album is very I always try to make my own meanings through it. I always thought, Alex Goldstein told me the song Olsen was a meditative song. You're supposed to put Olsen on repeat and then do meditations. And he actually did that when he was like working in IT. But I always thought Pete Standing Alone was about Ian Brady and Myra Hindley, because they did have, or at least that if Pete's standing alone, there's some sinister murderer coming about. And I think that would lead into Boards of Canada's fascination with like the Waco occultists. And
yeah, it could be.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they had, but there's definitely some sinister play there, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Music Has a Right was like, it was more like a professional collection for the label, Ninja Tune, or not Ninja Tune. I think it was Warp.
Warp.
Warp. And I think it's really Gio Gotti is the very most controversial record, because, if you read the Bach pages, that it's interesting though when you read the Bach pages, because it's like a Boards of Canada fan Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
And they say that when Gio Gotti came out, they gave tickets to NYC, London, Scotland, and even Tokyo, where they would play the album. But in particular, the New York event, it was in this church, and they would play like above the ceiling, like Children and Kaleidoscopes and all these like upsetting colors mixed with the devil in between the details. Something that's really, it's like lost media. But I do think Gio Gotti is a very controversial album, if not their best Boards of Canada album, yet all hardcore Bach fans think Music is. Well, Music is a good introduction, but I always thought Gio Gotti was the most, it's what got really a lot of the Hot Topic emo normie generation into it. And it really got the Salad Fingers type of horrifying, if there's something scary going on. One more thing I want to add in on the Bach album, on Gio Gotti, the one last track before Magic Window, when you hear like the John Cage silent, there's a Corsair, which is, I think it's airplane in French or something.
It's like a pirate, I believe.
Yeah, it's like this. I always thought that track was really chilling, but I thought it was funny. That track is like 1 minute and 20 something, and I was in the Bach pages, and I thought I was watching. I don't know if you watch Hey Arnold. It's like this.
Yeah, I have, and like a decade ago.
Do you remember the parent episode where Hey Arnold's trying to learn about his parents?
Yeah.
And he realized that his parents were going to come back, but they took a plane and they went to the Amazon and never came back. At the very end of that episode, he has a dream where he gets up and he goes into a plane, and then he flies in the distance and never returns. And if you play that Bach song on the kind of the second to last track on Gio Gotti, it sounds like it, and it goes with the mood. Like if something says, and I just thought it was hilarious. And I put a really weird, unsettling 28 Days Later track into a kind of a humorous Hey Arnold thing. But the movie came out too. The Hey Arnold movie came out last year, and I remember that was on TV. But yeah, I don't know what your thoughts on it is.
Crap.
Not much.
Yeah, not much apparently.
Hold on.
You know,
Hold on.
You know how long the album is?
It's about 60 minutes, 60 mixes and 66 seconds.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
I know, it's the devil. The devil's in. I always thought that was the most scariest track on the album, The Devil in Details, because the Devil in the Details, it's like not only you're like reverse children laughing, but it's this kind of massage tape telling you to relax and be calm when everything's not calm. The earliest memory of that track, I was 14 years old. I was in the back of my family van, and Mom and Dad were driving to Toronto, and we were going through, I don't think it's New York State, I think, and we were going into Toronto, and it was just fields of, like, if you imagine like a shitty gray day like today, and it's just gray, and you would hear the devil in details and just bleakness in the sky. Like, yeah, my memory can remember the first 40-30 minutes of Gio Gotti, but then I start to forget. And when I was 14, my experiences the last part of the album, I didn't start listening to it until later, you know. But I'm thinking of yeah, there's a lot of people say that one track before Corsair that goes. I'm trying to think what it's called. The Pan God, where they said there's a sample about a goat with arms, a goat with legs. People say that was the scary track. I'm like, no, Devil in Detail is the scariest track. I was looking at Bach arguments to say which is scary Bach. You know, it's weird too. I mean, you've listened to also Tomorrow's Harvest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when that came out, I didn't care. I was kind of disappointed because I thought that was just a Gio Gotti cash grab. Yeah, a cash grab to remake Gio Gotti, and it's just interesting tracks, but they're like they really played too much on the John Carpenter stuff. They thought highly of John Carpenter, and now that they're older, probably with children.
They have kids.
They're just like, well, let's just make a dad rock album about a horror movie. There was a I don't know if you've seen that movie Watergate Down, you know, with the killer rabbits. There's a movie about.
I've heard of it.
There was a movie by the same director, and is it Watergate Down? It's something. It's with the killer rabbits movie. It's some Watership Down, isn't it? Okay.
Down the rabbit?
No, Watership Down.
Yeah.
And Watership Down, there was a movie by the same director, and I am looking it up right. I told this to Matt Piss, and I'm in that mood where I can't remember at the moment. See, if I was working a job right now as a YouTube lecture person, somebody'd be like, "Oh, why can't you remember? I'm gonna devote you." You know. Oh, where is it? Watership Down film. The director, okay, directed by, okay, so The Plague Dogs, that's right. So The Plague Dogs, that was actually, Boards of Canada, the brothers, they watched that film, and they were really interested by that film, according to one source, which is somewhat reliable, not really, but they, they watch that film, and the part at the end of The Plague Dogs is when they have this disease and they try to, you know, escape humanity, you know, people, it's by swimming to this island, and they realize that in white cyclosis there's this helicopter that goes by, and that helicopter noise is kind of the same noise in The Plague Dogs. And when you play white cyclosis with The Plague Dogs, you really do get this surreal headache thing. Like, it does sound like, you know, Night of the Living Dead, bad George Romano 80s like film. And I'm sorry, on the chat right now, Oswald Spengler wrote, competing with Luke Ford and Gramerica for my attention. I didn't know Luke Ford was going on right now. I'm just doing this on my own. But anyway, yeah, Colectivo, they did grow up in a weird commune. Yeah, Bach Maxima. That's.
Wait, did they?
According to Colectivo writes that they grew up, the Scotland. It's they had their Turquoise Hexagon Sun group, and they actually talk about the esoterica nature, and they love that. You know, the old English like communes or something like that. But yeah,
I mean, it's possible. I think I've heard interviews where they say they don't live anywhere near a city. Well, in the woods, basically.
They're rural people. They're like
Scottish. They have little technology apparently.
Yeah, they just have like an SH-101 and like a 4-track, and it's like indie, woo, indie freedom, and but yeah, I think like Colectivo writes that Vox Maxima, the demo before the Music Has a Right. That's an interesting one too, but I always thought Vox Maxima was just an unfinished, or the demos. A lot of people, the demos are incredibly overrated because they're just. It's like listening to my cassette demos, and then I get signed on a label and write a professional album, and people think my demos are more important than the professional stuff. I mean, it is true. Bach Maxima is interesting because you hear some outtakes that they were thinking of, but it's just like some even say that there's some Bach demos out there, like some crazy vaporwave tape that no one has ever heard of, and yet they exist out in the wild, limited to 10. You know, but it's like, yeah, if you look at the Bach Wikipedia or the Bach pages, they talk about these tapes somewhere, you know, hidden, like limited to 10. Like my cassette runs, I limited to 30, and I think a 30 is a good number, but yeah, I mean, this obsession that somehow you're going to find the gold unfinished Bach tape, but it's like, I don't even think Boards of Canada, they really want to make music anymore. They're just too busy with getting enough money from their sales. And
I figured, yeah. Plus being parents too.
Yeah, and if you're in Scotland, you're definitely not in England. You know, you're outside of Glasgow or Edinburgh, so you're really rural and you're really old fashioned. You know, I just happened to be in a band called Boards of Canada, which is internationally known. A Fox News reporter likes them. So, but yeah, a few old tunes, 1 and 2. That's that recently those got popular in the past few years, 2 years, because that had orange text voice. You can hear like old demos of songs that were later published, which I think is really interesting. I mean, for the heck of it, they could just reissue those on actual cassette and, you know, a new cassette and then make money, but whatever. I don't know. What do you think about Tomorrow's Harvest?
I thought it was all right. Maybe a bit too long for my taste.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they're really overrated. That's my only concern. I thought they were amazing when Gio Gotti came out. When Gio Gotti came out, that was excellent. It was the golden age of boards, you know. Music Has the Right was good, but it was just normal trip hop, right? It was
I think they're both on the same par for me.
They're just like trip hop. It's like DJ Shadow stuff. It's like, yeah, there's tons of trip hop out there. Sounds like tons of vaporwave. And I think really, you know, they didn't follow up, you know, after Campfire. Campfire was so different that they kind of lost people, or that the label didn't want them on again. And so when they had Tomorrow's Harvest, they were trying to cater to this old crowd of remembering like this scary Bach. I mean, there was, let's see, I do like on Tomorrow's Harvest, I like this one track called Ooh Ritual. And I don't know if you remember Ooh Ritual. It goes, wah, 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 nya, nya. It's like a minute and a half interlude. And people's made some creepy videos with that. And I love that because I miss the scary Bach. And also the very last track, Shmekta, it's in Russian. It just means new seeds. And that track it's some scary vibes. That was the promo song to actually ironically sell the album. But yeah, it's just like the scary stuff, and then the lightning stuff, like Cold Earth, and I think it's like wow. I'm trying to remember that track. It's like before Cold Earth or after Cold Earth. I also really liked Jean-Claude Cassot, the 4th track on Tomorrow's Harvest. That really sounded like a live band did it. Like they were acting like 07, but instead of being 07 with a vocalist, they were just doing this weird jam band. Like I felt like there was a real drummer. You know, most of the time it's like trip hop, it's automated drums on an MPC or something, but the drums in that were broken. It sounded like a real drummer going off. And
it probably was them. I think they said before they do most of the percussion themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if they do have a new album, there's one thing in certain, they're never playing live, and they never have played live for a very long time. I don't know if they're even interested in playing live. And if they played live, I guarantee they will have giant they will have a giant people are going to show up for it. It's
of course.
Nice cash cow. It's like Neutral Milk Hotel. Neutral Milk Hotel showed up live. Oh, Neutral Milk Hotel, the greatest indie rock band ever. Everybody will go see them.
I love Neutral Milk Hotel, but I hate the fans, honestly.
Well, here's the thing. Neutral Milk Hotel, I do like Pitchfork's list of greatest albums, and I think that number 2 spot, it's worthy. Because the ideal that Milk Hotel, what they really did was they introduced Z-axis theory of music, meaning that he just recorded playing guitar It sounds like surround system. It's not just like lo-fi. It sounds like you hear every aspect of it. And this is something I observed, and this is probably, if you're like mastering music, you like that sound. But yeah, I think there is a overrated thing, and people take a lot of shit, a lot of serious. You know, there's one sacred band everybody can't make fun of, and that's My Bloody Valentine. I mean,
I don't like them.
I know exactly. And well, you know, I grew up with My Bloody Valentine. I had their album when I was 13 years old. My brother thought it was like some emo trash album, but I liked it because not only that was emo, but because it was like electronic. I liked the synthesizers and the samplers, and I was in this line between like I like how Chicago house music, but I also like My Bloody Valentine because it's like it reminds me of like it basically gave me the same vaporwave feels of what people argue why they like vaporwave. Like that fourth track on Loveless, right after that, the third track interlude, where it really reminds me of being like 8 years old and watching my neighbor play Earthworm Jim Special Edition on a really laggy Windows 95 computer. I mean, My Bloody Valentine gives you those vaporwave feels, but unfortunately, they've released new material, and it seems like they're mimicking off that. And they only, I saw them at the Fillmore in Philadelphia a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. No, a month ago. And I saw them play live, but they were just playing everything from Loveless. They weren't really playing the new track. And it's like, that's how they get people in. It's this whole Gen X thing. And so if they're the greatest band of all, but they're playing like, they should follow, and I think they know this too. They really want to be like some kind of Led Zeppelin or Yes or some new prog rock band. I definitely see that in their new aesthetic. They're into like lava lamps and hippie stuff, and it's just a little overrated. Where people think somehow noise can somehow mean sense. It's like the fad of two young kids in Brooklyn wanting to start a noise band. It's not Merzbow noise. It's not like some power harsh electronic. It's like uneducated people making music that will never get signed on a label. And,
yeah.
I just think that's a little unfortunate because it just seems like it won't last. It's like a bad relationship, and I just feel like why won't people make pop songs anymore? You know, I don't know, but it's just something I observed with My Bloody Valentine. But what else? I was thinking, well, I haven't been going to any concerts recently because of work, and I do have a ticket to go see JPEG Mafia, and now that I'm free, I can see JPEG Mafia. It's on a.
Are you going to?
Well, my girlfriend is forcing me to go see Owl City on Monday night. I have to. It's a girlfriend date.
I know.
It's a girlfriend date, and she loves Owl City, right? And I have to go see Owl City with my girlfriend, and it's the band date, you know. And and the next night, JPEG Mafia is playing.
Okay, it's not too bad.
But a few days ago on Monday, the Space Lady was playing at the Philomoka, and I found out on Princeton, and I had plans on going, but I instead went to Wawa work, and I hated it, and I just felt like I was too goddamn tired to drive out on a rainy day to see a 75-year-old lady make synth pop music, and I was just like, whatever. You know, it was like at some artsy venue too with two other bands playing, and she'll only play for like 30 minutes, and tickets are $15, which is okay, but it's just like some of these events, it's like it seems like if you're in the city, and if you're in Philadelphia, and if you're in walking distance, you got a hobby, and like board game night, which I always liked, you have pay someone $15 and look at an eccentric individual night. I don't know. I always thought that was the problem ultimately with shows, as they call it, you know. But then again, you get money, and it's a way of artistic expression, and they're willing to see that. And then, yeah, there's people who treat shows as some kind of, but there's so much shows going on that you don't know what you're missing out. Like I like exactly like I care about Ono, but Ono was only an opening act. But I'm so nerdy about them. I didn't care showing up because I don't want to pay $40 and see them for 15 minutes. The same with the Space Lady. It's like Space Lady, I would love to go see, but like I don't know. But with James Chance and the Contortionist, that happened earlier.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I thought the guy was next to you was like Damon Chi.
Yeah,
I guess he was just some dude.
Yeah, he was. He was some dude. I was just playing along.
No, I mean, you know who Damon Chi is, right? Look just like him.
I know.
Got to your left, yeah.
The opening band was actually Taiwan Housing Project, and that was the drummer. But here's the thing. I went to see James Chance because, you know, I had No Wave New York when I was 15, and the tickets were like immediately on sale. And I was like, I don't think he's going to come back to Philadelphia. And I got it, and then it sold out. And I was like, I lucked out. And it was a basement venue too. So there was like only 100 people. So it was really great. I had like front row seat of though I had to stand for like 2 hours, but it was great. And they're still doing it. And I just thought that was interesting. Kevin Anderson is actually. Do you know Barbarossa? Do you know Barbarossa?
I think I know the name.
BARBAROSSA. Let me Google search and use my handy dandy Google. I most likely know Barbarossa Discogs. I do Barbarossa Discogs. There's 37 different Barbarossas. 2005, See Like Blood. 2018, I'm pretty sure it's that one. Barbarossa number 3. Chill Wave, electronic. I have to listen to it. There's LPs. You know, I like when people introduce me new music. Brandon Adamson told me about Magic Wands, and they're like this boyfriend-girlfriend group, and I was like, interesting. And Rabbit was telling me how he wanted to be that. He wanted to be the boyfriend-girlfriend band. I'm like, really? Yeah, but it never really happened because I never had a girl interested in making music. And I was like, that's very interesting, but I don't know. It's things like that. PK Arc writes, talk about the transgressive liberal elite. You know, PK, I was going to have an episode to actually talk about that. And I want to talk about it, but I want to write an article first. But I don't know if you know this, Rich. I did a prank on Distributist. And,
on where?
What?
On where?
On this channel. I basically I agitated him, and oh shit. Oh, okay. Sorry, my JPEG Mafia tickets just sold on StubHub. So, yeah. I mean, like well, yeah. I just had the I basically tried to tease the Distributist, and you know, I thought I'd get some attention, get on a show, because I was supposed to be on a show for a long time. Didn't happen, and I decided to go all Jim Goat on him. And I feel really, really bad because he doesn't know what Jim Goat is, and I was feeling really guilty when I called him. I was like, this doesn't make me look good, does it? And I just started to do some goofy stuff with him and being like, you know, talking about, because I want to talk about transgressive liberal elite, and what I mean by you know, an upcoming future article about TLE is that TLE is really like people like Jim Goad, Emily Yukas, Sam Hyde, you know, people like basically people who are in the alt-right, but they like it for shock rock reasons. And it's more than just like it, you know, if we're talking about Jamie Stewart of Juju, you could call him a TLE, you know, transgressive, yeah, TLE. And it's this type of eccentric that's in it to just, you know,
just to mess around, just to mess with people.
Yeah, and you could mean it, you could not. Ironic, sincere, David Bowie wearing a Nazi costume, whatever. It's all relative. I mean, that's what the whole alt-right is, right? You're just a kid in the Midwest, and you think, you know, you're gonna do some Nazi stuff, you know. But I thought there was more to it. But I'm sorry to understand, PK Arc, if you're a part of the Distributist fan club, I apologize, because I actually do like the Distributist, and no offense to him. So I do like his videos, but I just don't like his Sargon of Akkad computering, if that makes any sense, where it's like, does not compute. What is this? I don't know what this is. Please fill in card. You know, it's kind of this goofy. But again, I kind of like it, actually, because it makes me, because I was putting on a character when I did the Distributist prank. Like, I was this Tom Green character. I just had this, I don't know if you've seen Tom Green's Freddy Got Fingered. I
haven't bits, yeah.
Oh, it's a great movie. And me and Harlan Venison like to talk about it. And in the movie, he's trying to sell his cartoon, you know, Tom Green.
Yeah.
And he goes to this producer, and he's like, do you like my cartoon? Do you like my and he's like, look at this kid. Your cartoon, it's fucking stupid. What is this? It's sent. No, it's not. And Tom Green keeps agitating him, and I just felt like when I pranked the distributist, he was like, "What the fuck's Asianarianism?" I'm like, "I don't know," and he's like, "It won't work, buddy." Well, it was just kind of funny. There's something I know you have to watch it too, and the part where I ask him about PhD, I'm like, "Cause smart." It's like, what the fuck does that even mean? And I just was like praying. I hope he knew it was a joke, but he didn't. So, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. But Kevin Anderson also writes, what do you think about MGTOW? What do you think about asexuality and what I think about MGTOW? And okay, wait, watch the Red Letter Media review of Freddie Got Fingered.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Right, who's Red Letter Media?
They're a production company from Scottsdale, Arizona. They do film reviews. They'll watch like really shitty VHS films and then review them afterwards. Trying to think. Yeah, that's mainly about it.
Okay, I gotta look into that.
They're really, really good though.
I see. Well, I'll have to look into that, but I do love that movie a lot. Freddie Got Fingered. I think that's a really classic cult film. But asexuality. Well, Andy Nowicki did a article based on it because there was the guy who did the Plinkett Star War prequel reviews.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was like 15, I was really into like weird transgressive shit. So this goes along with the transgressive liberal thing. And I was really into like finding weird shit on the internet. And this is before Encyclopedia Dramatica, and this is before there was a Russian page about asexuality. And later Andy Nowicki found out about it. And I was like, damn, I remember that website. Because there was a period when I was like, 16 and I hated masturbating. I felt like I was a slave to it. I felt like I didn't have like every time I masturbated, I felt it was like something was, taken over me, like, even like porn. I just felt there was really depraved porn out there. And, it was anti-sexualism. It's opposition and hostility towards sexuality. So you can call me an anti-sexualist for a bit, but I wasn't kind of this weird, because there was like this Russian website that talked about anti-sexualism and how like people would like be stronger. Avon, anti-sexualism. No. Oh, I love it. The Avon wiki, the anti-sexuals. And like, it was just this, that's it. The anti-sexual stronghold, antisex.info English. And it was just, it was like the great times when like you would find about the Church of Euthanasia with Chris Korda and he would just say, kill a baby, It was like the golden time of like this transgressive art, and I absolutely loves things like that. I actually Google searched PK Arc. I don't know if PK Arc is listening right now. I would like to debate PK Arc because he was once on one Google Hangout. I'm not so sure if he's a cuck or a liberal, but I just wanted to know that because it looks like, because I'm not so sure if I can take PK liberals argument seriously. But the thing is, if PK Arc, if you want to send me a message, I'd like to talk to you more about transgressive liberal elite. I mean, I don't know if you're in the chat right now, if you're being a fucking shill, but I'm just saying, because like I sincerely mean a talk with Distributus as a Jim Go type, but also as like, I think I also point out the audience does suck, and when the audience tries to butt in and make their own like weird assumptions about, you got to talk this way. And it's like, you're no fucking good than the fucking people who go to fucking Wawa and torture the people. So fuck you, PK Arc. Fuck you. But I don't know if PK Arc's gonna respond back to that. But I'm just trying to find his YouTube right now, and I only can find a video called "Hangout with PK Arc on Automation," and that was last year. Was it on Form Algorithm? No, Form Algorithm was. Damn, it only had like 7 episodes. Oh no. They still got no. Yeah, they quitted for some Oh, there's a Babylon Hebrew episode. Okay. Well, Babs is really cool. I really like Babs. Cater's on now, Luke Ford. I know I'm looking at someone else's YouTube. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if the form Agadom, Forg Agadom's not in the PK arc. It doesn't look like it. I mean, but I don't know. I'm going on a digression here, anti-sexualism. And then finally MGTOW. What's up? I'm gonna write come in the hangout. Okay, so sorry, Richie. I'm just gonna be like,
no, it's fine.
I'm just gonna try to enlighten up the mood. This is like the Joe Rogan show, but with Pill Eater. So bear in mind, I just like being like the guy on stage, and like imagine like James Cameron. I mean James Chance does when he goes up on stage and plays his sax. And why would I want you, PK Arc? Why would I don't know if you're a good guy Arc or you're a bad guy Arc. I'm trying to make this interactive. I don't know if you're good or you're bad. I don't know if you're on my side, you're on Distribute's side. Stuff wrong with the Distributus. I'm just saying. I don't know if you're a shill or not. But anyway, I think PAK Arc is a good guy, but I'm not so sure. So he's in the middle ground. I don't know. It's just like that. I don't know. Why would I wouldn't want you in PK? I know what you're talking about. Okay, but anyway, back to MGTOW. Okay, so what I think about MGTOW. I think MGTOW, again, I should have an episode on this as well. What do you think about MGTOW, Richie?
I think 50-50. Like, they have some good ideas, I suppose, but they become stupid. Like, you're just, better than like a feminist at that point.
It's like a meninist. It's like you're basically having the feminist output, but you're like into like being a man instead or something like that. Yeah, I mean, well, my theory is just I look at it as there is legitimate reasons why the early 20-something and teenage young white man is facing not only discrimination and even the POC guy, even you could say the Asian guy too, or the any like intellectual feminine dude, okay, not some kind of damn shit kind of guy or like sports bra Chad, not those types. Those types that they're retarded. But I'm saying the type that really means well is getting the bad end of the stick, because most Western women, I think, are just like, they have this image in their head that there's going to be Fabio men somewhere, or some image that they watched on television, and that man's going to come in a chariot and rescue them. And I think the biggest target of this is Asian women, because they think every single like white dude is some kind of like suave guy that will save them from the Tiger Mom family. And it's like, yeah, that's true, but again, why don't you choose? I mean, I sound like I'm being self-critical of myself, but I'm just saying this is some F. Roger Devlin, alpha thinking. Right. I'm just saying it's like and MGTOW is mostly right on that. I think the right word is men's rights. That's the correct, more professional men's rights. MGTOW is more like man feminism, and it's like
it's like
it's like feminism. It's like I'm MGTOW. I'm just like and it's like, well, I'm not. Like, it's like I just feel like, well, there's a certain limit to that. I just don't think you should play that game. It's more like
it's kind of self-defeating now.
Yeah, I'm more like men's rights. I think it's like, I really think like there are evil women, and there's a lot of white Western women, and this sounds complete contradiction to every white nationalist. Like, the white nationalists don't understand. Your precious white Western women are right now sarcastic and ironic because they think that's what white men like. Like white women are only gonna emulate what they think men want in order to attract men.
Yeah.
And if most white men are like ironic and sarcastic and some kind of, if you want to say soy boy, I don't even think that word's used anymore, but if you think they're like that, then they're gonna be like that, and then they're gonna be hostile against like normal people. And it's just like, it gives you all a right to be gay or date a non-white. It really does. And it's just like, whatever, man. Oh, that's really interesting. Hi. Okay. PK's a good guy. PK's a good guy. I just found out. PK found me for Babs because Babs is a great guy. I love Babs. So if you're a follower of Babs, then we're on the same team, because I love Babs, and PK Arc is probably a good guy. So when he wrote the message about the transgressions of the Little League, yeah, PK Arc. I'll just tell this quick, because I want to have a Bowden style like hour of me just talking about the history of the transgressive liberal elite. And I do sincerely mean it. I was meaning in the Distributist chat as like hostility towards him, like, or some kind of like trying to put out this hypocrisy, right? But if you want to talk about TLE, TLE really just means that there is an upper class of artistic people who don't give a shit, and all they really want is just like a merchant and consumer class where they can do all this crazy shit and make money off of people who we think revolutionaries are. Just like the casual YouTuber, just like people like myself. I could be a part of TLE. I think it's okay to be a part of TLE. It's like an eccentric thing. It's just the problem is people are not telling you the truth about TLE, and they would rather want you to say that there's a revolution going on, and they want to sell you shit. Exactly. Think of it, PK, just think of this as like a Toastmaster club, okay? YouTube online, it's like a Toastmaster club. Even when I'm in my bed, like in my pajamas, being all girly in bed, I'm still trying to be like a Bowden speaker, okay? I'm trying to, that's what it's really all about, okay? It's really all about like saying like all this intellectual stuff without any citations and anecdotes like the Distributist does, Orion Folk. And, you know, not like the cartoony YouTube skeptic avatars do and be like, look, I will cite you an information that according to a public high school in New York, they don't teach the Holocaust because there's more Muslim kids there that therefore hate Jews. And then so forth. It's wisdom, you know. I think I'm citing that actually from like 2012 National Review, but that's a part of orating. So it's just speaking your mind freely and persuading people and using, and then eventually people will re-listen to you like some Peter Popoff or Reverend Leroy Jenkins person. That's what I think it's all about. It's about public speaking. It's a Toastmaster club, and that's what I really meant by a Spinning Top Club. But yeah, okay. So, is there anything else we should touch upon? I mean, we're just talking boards of Canada, most likely. I mean, we could.
Do you like No, go on.
No, do I like what?
Do you like Tourism?
I do like I do like Tourism, and I do like 69er a lot. I think that's a really weird song. It reminds me of when I was 15. Da, da, yeah, that really weird, that drum break is really like a weird proto trip hop beat. I do like Tourism a lot. I was just thinking of Iced Cooley today. I love that one song, Iced Cooley. Do 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 do. I'm afraid to play it because I think like YouTube has like bots that like see like they see like, oh, there's a copyrighted song, and it's true. They and I noticed this too because when I put my music out, you got to tag your music so you can monetize off it. So if I played Iced Cooley in the chat, people are like, oh no, you can't monetize your video because you played Iced Cooley, and it's like whatever. I don't know, but that's that.
I like Spokes Quantity, and the second track, like Ostertine.
Ostertine.
Do.
Those are good tracks. Yeah, I'm trying to remember them too. Yeah, I like Ice Cooley because it's just a really good loop, and it's like just like 2 minutes of your time or something.
Yeah.
Thinking of. Okay, Harlan got back. Harlan Benson is looking to places. He wants Brooklyn. Well, I'm actually looking to move into Brooklyn, actually. And
really,
it's for next year.
You could meet Phil Evram. That'd be cool.
I can meet who?
Phil Evram.
Yes. Where's Phil Evram from? Or I don't know if I don't think I've met Phil.
He's from Microphones, Mount Erie. He's also originally from Anacortes, Washington. He lives in Brooklyn. Now Brooklyn. Yeah, no, he does live in Brooklyn now.
Mm-hmm. 7. I'm just doing some. I mean, because we're looking at places, and if it's 700. Oh fuck. We're looking at places to move in Brooklyn, and he was like, "Is $700 a month with 4 other people in the room nice?" And I'm just like, let me do the math on that. Because like I feel like I still need a job. Of course, I need a job to do any of this shit. I just feel like, okay, where the fuck would I work in Brooklyn? when I work in Queens or Brooklyn or something like that. I'm just looking into this. You know, we're just doing house shit. You know, it's like HV had a nice place in New Brunswick for like $300 a month, and I'm like, that's sick. $300 a month's great. Like, it was a good place too for $300 a month. It was just a room, and it was just like it was great. But he's looking at $700 a month for one place in Brooklyn. Do you think $700 a month is okay for Brooklyn, or is that a little steep?
How many people? Is just you and him, or other people?
There's like 3 other people.
That's actually pretty good.
Okay.
I matched for Brooklyn.
Okay.
Because I have relatives in the city. I think they pay like $900 a month for an okay apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using the word okay very loosely.
You know, I'm just talking to Harlan. I mean, if I would have Harlan right now, just talking about how I would. Yeah, so it's all good because our ideal is like if we start something in Brooklyn, like we did the Harlem Jansen Pilliter and like a few others, if you wanted to join in, where it's like the secret alt left house in Brooklyn, and we have all the private connections, and be like, yeah,
that sounds like fun.
I know. Shit. And then like we go to punk rock shows and, you know, artsy Brooklyn, you know, or whatever it is in Queens, and be like New York rats, because it's like, you think about it, New York is like, a lot of people say it's like, oh, it's just a city, but it's like, no, it's like the power center of the East Coast. You know,
yeah,
I'm in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is okay, but like Philadelphia is just like, one, it's underdog center, it's Fat Albert land, and it's also it's starting to paint into Portland wannabe, and that's really bad. If your city starts to emulate Portland, you know you have a problem.
Like, I heard it's pretty bad, Portland. I mean, I've never been.
I'm just saying, because Portland is like Portlandia. It's like hipster capital of the world, but it's like
it's like so bad. Even Isaac Brock has to say something about it. He's like, oh man,
but at the same time,
even turds everywhere.
I'm just saying, if Cincinnati, Ohio has to act like Portland, then you know there's something wrong with Cincinnati. Whatever happened to Cincinnati chili and Bengal Browns and like farm and steamboats? Not fucking stupid chill wave like hipsterdom. Like, that destroys Cincinnati. And that's what I feel about Philadelphia. Philadelphia, I believe, is a black city. Fat Albert, Bill Cosby, Temple University, patriotic, Benjamin Franklin, the Franklin Institute, historical, the Art Museum, Rocky, working class. But then you have this part where it's like Fishtown and Center City that's trying to be like the Portland, like they tell other stupid, like, oh, you couldn't get into New York, so you're going to be a bitch and live 2 hours outside and live in Philadelphia. Like, that's how I feel about it, too. It's like, you know, New York away from me is like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But it's just like, well, Philadelphia is convenient. If a band tours in New York, they come to Philadelphia anyway. It's 80, 90% most of the time. So what the fuck? That's what most people think, too. And so, I don't know. Yeah, but I'm saying is, you know, NYC, you know, if you can be there, you are part of the power position. It's the meta politics, right? You know, countercurrents meetings, the white nationalist meetings would held literally in like Times Square with Greg Johnson, you know, as their secret, you know, white nationalist conference. And I attended a few. And the thing is, it's you know, if me and Harlan were have like this alt left thing going on, have a place in Brooklyn, and I go to graduate school in like New York, don't know where, I'm thinking Queens. Go graduate like Jerry Seinfeld, and I'm just saying is like we'd have this place in Brooklyn, and then what we'd do, we'd sell book, we'd work our jobs and then do something, but we're trying to figure that out.
No, it sounds great.
But it's okay, right? But right now it's okay because I'm still in rural. I'm still in Pennsylvania, so everything's okay. I'm just saying that's our kind of longer plan, but yeah, it's a lot to think about.
You can start like a no wave band.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's New York, definitely. You know, my concern is just, well, I won't have a car in New York. I won't be paying car insurance. It's not opened like Pennsylvania, so you'll have to walk or subway places, which I think is pretty convenient.
Yeah,
there's the chances of meeting a local celebrity, maybe not movie or music. Most likely, as a musician, I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, there's a lot to do. Yeah, but that's on our wish list because I certainly have the money. I just want to save up more capital before laying it down, having a mission statement, making an investment, than being an account siphon. I mean, I've already been to situations where I can tell you what a scam school is and a scam is not. It's all about saving money, but I don't know.
That sounds great. I'd love to do that, like an adventure.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. What was it? Whatchamacallit? I think we've reached the end of our podcast. I think this is good, but is there anything we should do another one? I think we should do one like tomorrow night or like Monday night or something like that. Well, no, Monday night I'm at Owl City.
I could do tomorrow night.
Yeah, we could do tomorrow night.
I just have to remind myself.
Yeah, just remind yourself. Just remind me on Facebook because I want to start doing Spinning Top Club. I can't do it on the Pill Eater channel because I've been striked like 3 times. And
Spinning Top Club?
Well, no, this is Spinning Top Club. I'm just putting this on Google Hangout. That's why I have a live chat. Yeah.
I figured something was weird.
Yeah, because that's how I just do it now. I just put it on Google Hangout. But I'm just saying it's like on Pill Eater, I used to do it all the time, but then it's like you got these YouTube admins. I don't know who they are, robots or like people. Like if they're banning Roosh and giving him a hate strike because girls who wear dog collars are treated like shit. And that's just it's not hate. It's not being sexist. It sounds sexist in like design, but he's really saying that like that's what they want to be treated as. And it's true. I had a Chinese girlfriend who wore a collar like that. And she was really nice and she was great. But yeah, she had that dark side and that's why I fear about the collar. Girls think it's cute. But concerning guys, yeah, it's like that sounds a little bad, like it's self-hate, But again, yeah, you got to watch out. I got a hate strike for making a Jim Goad video, a Way of the World video, making fun of COD Agent 3. Even on Robert Stark talking about Israeli Aryanism, you can't say stuff anymore. And I just feel like this is like I'm at least trying to be more professional, on these videos, but it's whatever. Yeah, so I think we should do this tomorrow night.
Sure.
All right. Have a good night, Richie.
All right, man. You too.
All right.